Hi guys, so today I've got Russell Grant with me. Russell is the owner of the Busy Man's Fitness Club. He also works out of my facility, ABC Fitness, alongside that as well. So, first things first, welcome Russ.
Cheers, Joe. You all right?
All good, all good. How are we doing?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Very well.
Good, good, good. So, just tell the viewers, stroke listeners, depending on what platform they're using, what the BMFC is all about, or the Busy Men's Fitness Club, for people who don't know what that is. Tell us a little bit about that quickly.
Yeah, I've been running it for 5 years, face to face, so the Busy Man's Fitness Club. I just saw a bit of a gap in the market. Just when it was face to face, no other gyms in the area are open before 6:30. A lot of these guys are busy, they get home, they can't be bothered to work out in the evenings, they want to spend more time with family or working on projects. So I thought, what if I start something at 5 a.m.? So these guys that are trying to balance out their wealth, their health and relationships, and that they can do workouts that get it done before the rest of the day. So they handle their business before they handle their business, basically.
Okay, cool. And so tell us, I mean, what's, at the moment, obviously the facility that you do the morning club out of is shut. And, you know, that for most people is a problem. What are you doing to combat that at the moment?
Well, luckily, with the build up to this, I started diving into the world of online coaching, learning how to serve people, keep them accountable from a distance. So I've transferred all of the knowledge, all the resources that I've been doing with the guys face to face, which worked, and then formulated the online workouts. So I've got a 6-week online coaching program, and it's for guys that are, success driven, highly motivated, but they want to ditch the dad bod. They want to increase their energy and focus. They want to show up to be not just a leader for themselves, but a leader for their families.
Yeah.
And I also help people, create more energy and more focus so they can stop self-flabbertaging. Okay, this is a new word I've come up with. Okay, so not self-sabotaging, self-flabbertaging,
Yeah.
which is just something that we do week by week, and it's just changing focus, changing your perspective, having a look at your values, and kind of just like creating a new routine that can become habitual. So it's not just about losing belly fat, getting fitter. It's about having more energy, being in charge of your own feelings, showing up for your family, and also just being that alpha man that you once was. The reason why you got most of the stuff you got out of life, like you got the wife, you got the car, you got the house, is because you had a process and you did that process every day. And then once you get all those things, I found that with most people, including myself in the past, is that the process we did before, we stopped doing. It's like brushing your teeth. They don't, it's like brushing their teeth as much. So what ends up happening is everything else starts to deteriorate around them because they're only focused on one thing, which is the career, which I can't blame them because, money's a vehicle. We all need money. Okay. You show me someone right now in a situation that's quite wealthy money-wise, that's going to be a calm person. I hope you can agree. It helps create calm, it helps create certainty. But also what can suffer from that is that you don't look after your health. If you don't look after your health, healthy body, healthy mind. If your mind starts to deteriorate, you're not going to be as attentive with people. You're not going to be able to deal with difficult situations. You're going to get triggered by things. You're going to spiral out of control. This is going to snowball. And then when you're trying to have fun at the weekend, as we call it, having a drink or whatever it may be, it's more of a sedation for a temporary good feeling. But in the long term, it's not going to serve you well.
So, I mean, I can definitely resonate with both sides of the people you're discussing right now. Since, as you are aware and as you've been a part of it, the growth of ABC for myself has led me from being a very highly stressed, highly strung person over to being a very calm, very kind of chilled. And then back to the middle again. I went way over like this way for a bit, over to the calm side for a bit, and then I found my happy medium, which I think I found I needed to stay at. And then obviously with COVID-19, the lockdown, having pretty much other than prior investments to the gym, having only outgoings, so everything that I once deemed as an asset suddenly became a liability, which I learned could happen anyway, suddenly had me back to being this kind of highly strung old shit person that is slowly coming back to my middle middle grounded self again. So I totally get how that happens. How about yourself? So how are you staying motivated, positive, and creative at the moment?
Well, I'm not going to lie. In the beginning, I did have a bit of a wobble. I did have a bit of fear, a bit of anxiety, a bit of overwhelm about the whole situation.
Yeah, yeah.
But lucky enough, I've had coaches in the past, and I've got coaches now, and I've created a set of like morning routines and rituals and strategies to actually bring my back to self to the present, so I can actually center myself and actually figure things out quite quickly and responsibly, so that I can get over these hurdles. I always say it's a bit like, you know, if you're at a swimming pool and you've got one of those like mini beach balls,
Yeah.
you try and push it down, the water is always trying to push back up. Okay, and that's what's going to happen. Like all of these triggers we have, all of these reactions to certain situations, they're always going to be there. But it's kind of training yourself to just keep pushing it back down.
Yeah,
Because it's never going to go, because you've got to replace one thing with another. And that's what I've been doing. I've been just changing my focus. And if anything, like during this period and coming out, I've come out of it with a new set of skills for my mindset, for my state, new coping mechanisms, a new focus. I actually feel very blessed with this time, because we've had the gift of time. Before, running around like a headless chicken, saying I can't make time for this, I can't make time for that. It's kind of fast tracked things for me as well. And you'll probably agree with me as well, Jerry. It's like, you know, certain things we say, we'll do this when we're ready, we'll do this when this happens, when it's the right time. And then you say, look, I'm going to achieve this goal by then, I'm going to start there. But where that kind of plan B and that safety net's been taken away, it's fast tracked it. And don't get me wrong, it's been hard work, it's been scary. You know, I've had to have a lot of resilience to get through it. And so have the people around me. But by focusing on this and filling my day up with as many tasks as possible, because this is the one thing that I've struggled with in the first week or so. I mean, the first week I ate so much bread, I thought I was going to turn into a seagull. Do you know what I mean? Like, so much bread. And I was eating chocolate every night, and I did have a couple of drinks. But what was happening is it was due to boredom, it was due to stress. And I always say, like, you know, your top end energy is here, and it kind of spirals, and in the middle is boredom. And then where boredom is, that's where unhappiness lies. That's when you know, you get unhappiness, you get stale, and you kind of go down this other part of the spiral. And one thing that really helped me was actually getting a focus in the morning. So putting my attention on my intentions first thing.
Yeah.
So that I'm able to formulate a plan and actually write down like how I actually want to feel today. What do I want to get done today? What outcomes? Why is that important? And these things made it so that I wasn't leaving the day up to chance. Because leaving the day up to chance, you know, you're kind of throwing muck at the wall, seeing what sticks. And then if you don't fill your day up with as many tasks and activities that are going to be higher in your values, that are going to empower you, be high priority, that are going to inspire you and going to add value to your life, then what I find is that then slowly that void is filled by other activities that aren't going to do so, like scrolling on social media.
Yeah,
like,
social media,
binging on chocolate, having a nap, you know, being stuck with your own thoughts and these sort of things. And I went through it myself, and I still do every day. But it's like, what can I do to change my focus so that I am staying like on that path, kind of like putting the blinkers on, like on the horsey, putting the blinkers on, so that you can just get more shit done and then have your downtime.
I'm finding as well at the moment in my downtime, I mean, you know me from old, so you know what my mind's like. And Gemma once said it, my wife, my mind is like an internet browser which has got 20 tabs open with half-searched subjects in them, and you never know which one it's going to be on. This has actually helped me close a couple of those browsers down, which has been fantastic. But I'm finding that even in my downtime, I can't stop being creative. Like mentally, I cannot stop thinking and then jotting stuff down. And I'm finding I have a lot more, with less clarity, is giving me more creativity. Because there's so much uncertainty, and I have now been forced to not be able to think about my normal business. I'm now being, like, my mind has just been given this free rein, a bit like just letting go of the tiller of a boat and just letting it sail off, and wherever it ends up, it ends up.
Yeah.
It's a constant barrage of thoughts, ideas, and yeah, I mean, it's fun. It is a lot of fun, and I think you are right. The blinkers are probably one of the most important things for anyone that is involved in business or has to strategize. Those blinkers are going to help you stay on course, because without them, having that structured time, you know, I'll be back writing that bloody script again, you know. So I'm all over the place, which I am doing as well. Okay, so I mean, you're in a fairly kind of new relationship, but it's under a year old, isn't it? It's under a year old, I think, is it? Just under, yeah, about 9 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
10 months. Yeah.
10 months. And Danny, if you're watching, fantastic girl. Obviously, big fan. And you know, I mean, you guys aren't living together, so what's that like?
It's been difficult. It has. It hasn't been easy. Like, we kind of like hit it off from the get go. So we went from seeing each other like once a week, then twice, then three, then four, and then we were just kind of joined at the hip. We've had so many experiences together. We spend a lot of time together. We do so many things as well. We have experiences. We go out dinners. We've had a beautiful holiday together over Christmas, and then it's gone from that to not seeing her for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
The reason being is that I have my home and my living conditions. I live in a house share, and she's at home, and she has a full household as well. And for our own personal reasons, we had to just separate. And yeah, it hasn't been easy, but we haven't let it get the best of us. It hasn't let it get the better of us. We've both had melty moments. We've both had wobbles, but I'm so grateful for her, because we have like very, very similar mindsets. We want to grow. We are committed. And I challenge everyone to be honest. We're committed to constant growth. There's no positive without negative. And if you're not growing, you're dying. I think you've got a great skill set yourself. Like, there's no uncertainty without clarity. And what you've done is you've created this creativity to get clarity away from uncertainty, which is phenomenal. And so, luckily, where we've got similar mindsets to someone, like she catches me when I'm falling and I catch her when she's falling.
Yeah.
But by us, creating these routines, journaling every day, creating the feelings we want, staying as busy as possible, using this time to actually, appreciate life, be more humble, have more gratitude. It's making us actually think that this isn't the worst case scenario. It really isn't. And, and we've been there for each other massively. I mean, still twice a week, she may drop some things to me, I may drop some things to her, but I stand at the end of the drive. We have a little chat. We're FaceTiming every day. We're messaging all the time. We're playing games. We had a quiz night last night. And, we're that strong and not just strong with our connection and love, but our mindset that we know that we can get through this.
Yeah.
And, this isn't me like kind of forcing my way of thinking on anyone. Like, this is just my opinion and just my thought process. So this is, free from the speech and so on. But look, when we get to these situations, you've got to rate it out of 10. Okay, and I said this on a live video recently. And if I can go to the deepest, darkest place of my life and put that as my 10, and then think about this situation, this is barely a 2.
Yeah.
And I spoke about these, not to get too deep, but the two like scariest parts of my life and the most pain was, I was 13 years old. I had severe headaches, and I got taken to hospital with my mum, and I had an MRI scan. And just before the MRI scan, they looked at the back of my eyes on one of those big machines, and they turned around and said to my mum at the time, "Mrs. Grant, your son's got a brain tumour." Okay. Even now, you can see it gives me goosebumps. I mean, I turned around hysterically crying, grabbing my mum, saying that I'm going to die, or I'm going to be a vegetable. It was so painful, it really was. And I had to sit in that MRI scanner for 40 minutes. It sounds like an older Commodore 64 loaded up. It's like, But I laid there, and then I had to wait for the results to be told, like, you're going to have your head cut open. I'm thinking I'm 13. I've got my whole life ahead of me. This is it, But luckily I got through. So that's like a fucking 10 for me, excuse my language. But, and I can think of another time, like, my mum passing. She's one of 16 children. She's the youngest. She's the baby of the family. But I've got such a connection with my mum. She's my best friend, my hero. She's been through everything. And to see her in that much pain when her mum passed hit me so much.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to bring myself, and this is, you know, I'll go back to this in a second. This is all about state. It really is. If I can say that's a 10 out of 10 for a really, really, really crap situation, like really crap, and then, okay, yeah, I can't see my girlfriend, but I can FaceTime her. Yeah. I can't go outside, but I've got endless films on Netflix. I can still go to the shops. You know, I've got both my arms and legs. I've got food in the fridge. I've got clothes in my bag. It's like, it's all about your perception. It's how you perceive things. If you can change your perception, you can change your beliefs, you can change your behavior. And this is what it's going to come down to. And it's like, yeah, when I think about this sort of stuff, there's always polar opposites. And if you do put this into perspective, it's not as bad as you may think. I know there are tragedies going on, and I feel for anybody that's had that. I mean, personally, I've had a bit of a setback with a family member recently. However, look, it's going to be a very tested time for everyone. I think it's going to massively reshape the world for a lot of people, the way they view the world, the way they view things, like materialism, values, time, everything else. I think it's a very blessed time to be alive. And considering the circumstances, we haven't got it too bad as a coping mechanism. You know, we're missing loved ones, I miss my nieces, but yeah, I'm just using this time to get as creative as possible, like yourself, learn some new skills, recreate connections. I mean, like, my God, my dad, if he's watching, I love you, Dad. I can count on one hand the amount of times I see him in a year.
Yeah.
And he lives in Basildon and I live in Raymond. Okay. Yeah. He's like 15 minutes away. He is FaceTiming every single day. Because you don't know what you've got till it's gone. You don't know what you've got till it's gone. He's FaceTiming me every day. I'm FaceTiming him, my mum, my nieces. It's like, after this period, I hope that, including myself, we don't go back to our old ways. Yes, there's certain things we'll have to do again, but, you know, don't bother ringing up your mate. Just say, look, I'm popping round for a cup of tea.
Yeah. Go and see each other. I think even keep doing this. Even keep doing this. You know, like, even keep doing the Zoom meetings, keep doing the house party stuff, see each other. And the good thing about those apps and stuff, and definitely this, is you can't, I mean, how often do you go around your mate's house and there's 5 of you there and everyone's doing this? You know?
Oh, yeah.
The good thing is, if you're on house party, that's what house party's on. So you can't scroll. You have to have each other's attention, right? So
yeah,
that is one good thing. I mean, technology is coming into its own right now and is getting everyone through this. And like you said, you know, historically, we're not going through shit. We're not going through bad time. We're not digging trenches ready for the Battle of the Somme, or we're not in Belgium or storming the Normandy beaches. You know, we're not going through that. But this isn't the Spanish flu either. That you know, wiped out more people during the First World War than the actual First World War. So, you know, we are not going through that. We are going through a tough time. But like you say, you know, out of 10 historically, this is nothing. This is
I think I read a quote somewhere. I can't remember the last part of it, but the first part was that it was linked to, like, obviously, like, where these tragedies happened. And yes, we are losing loved ones, and it is terrible. And I have massive empathy and sympathy to everyone. But most of us, we're actually mourning for the lives we used to have.
Yeah.
So we're in mourning for the lives we used to have.
And we're gonna have. We will have them. We will go back.
Do you know what I mean? We're missing those old lives. Yeah, it will come back. It will come back. We'll come back stronger. I mean, look, do whatever you need to do during this time, but use it to your advantage. Honestly, use it to your advantage massively. Like, just fill your day up with as many activities as you can. Do as much with your family, as much with your kids. Upskill yourself. Read that book you've never read. Watch that series you haven't before. I don't know, if you've got an old Spanish galleon that you want to refurbish, in your main pub, you could touch it up with some paint. Bring out the old war hammers you used to have in the loft, whatever it may be. Okay,
do something.
Just get, like, my missus has started drawing recently, and I never realised how talented she was. You know, she's been drawing pictures. My housemate made a Liverpool trophy out of Lego. Could be the only trophy they'll get. Anyway. But yeah, I mean, Like, I don't know, I can't grumble. Like, as I said, I have my moments, I have my wobbles.
Yeah.
But it's training. Like, yeah, look, when disasters happen, when catastrophes happen, we always will fall to our lowest level of training.
Yeah.
We'll always fall back to our lowest level of training. So if you can upskill yourself, then you're always going to fall back to a higher place.
Okay.
Look, if you think you can't do something, you're right. If you think something probably won't happen, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It's your focus, it's your attention, it's what you're putting out there. Like, where your focus goes, your energy flows and the results show. That's what happens. And what I mean by that is that if all day all we're doing is going like, I don't want to feel shit, I don't want to feel shit, I don't want to feel shit, well, guess what you're going to get? More of the same.
Yeah, of course.
It's changing the script, it's changing the language. And, you know, not to go to business related stuff, but myself included and my clients, like, the one thing we fix from the get-go is their physiology. Because the only way you're going to change your state, because you can't catch fear from me, Jerry. You can't catch depression from me. My energy can be passed on to you. You can create your own fear and your own depression, your own overwhelm. But you can also change that. And you can change that instantly with training. Like, if you fall back to your lowest level, if that lowest level is up here, you can fall back to it.
Yeah.
But,
of course,
and this is going to be your perception. I always say, the way I can explain perception is that if I'm standing opposite you and I draw a number 6 on the floor, what do you see?
Yeah, I'll see
a number 9. And we can, or a smell, but we can argue till we're blue in the face about our perception. But until you take a few seconds to really process things and become responsive rather than reactive and come round my side, you go, I can see a different perspective on what you draw.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And the best way we can change our perspective is if our energy's higher. Once again, I said, you can't get my depression, you can't catch my anxiety, you can't borrow my energy, but you can do things with your physiology to create more energy. And also, by creating more energy in a better state, you can stop that from leaking out all day and having it passed on to other people. So if we look at things like your rest, your recovery, your sleep, your hydration, your focus, your posture, the stimulants you're on, your language, your environment, all of these things, if we can like check these off and score these out of 10 and see where the gaps are and have some insights from that and formulate a plan.
On things to work on, of course, yeah.
Mate, yeah, once we raise that energy, you know what it's like, mate. Look, I've seen you, you've seen me when we're hungover, okay? When you're hungover and your energy's low, you've got zero tolerance for anything. You can't handle difficult situations. You get stressed out easily. You get triggered easily. But if your energy's right up here and some, you know, Charlie Lars bananas comes along and tries to steal your thunder, you're not phased. You're not phased whatsoever because you're deflecting things off. Your mindset is kind of unstoppable. You're deflecting things from left, right, centre because your energy's right up here. But that's all to do with your physiology. And if you can increase your physiology, if you can improve that, if you can improve your state, improve your energy, then anything is achievable. It really is.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you can see that you live by these rules and these laws, and that I can see how that is going to help literally pretty much everyone if they were to have that standpoint right now. What would be for someone that is dipping their toe in the water, that just wants to feel like they want to be a little bit more underwhelmed in this overwhelming time? What would be your first bit of advice? You know, just, I need to calm my brain down. Help me out here. What could you say to that person just to bring them down a couple of steps off of that overwhelming ladder, just to help them put things into perspective a little bit? What would you do? What would you say? What advice would you give them?
Right, okay. So how we can change our state. What was that? Did you hear that?
What?
I don't know, someone's like dragging a desk. Anyway, yeah, so going back to what I was saying, so look, what I would say to that person if you're in a massive state of overwhelm or panic or whatever it may be, is I would ask them some powerful questions. Look, the answers that we want in life come from world-class questions. And world-class questions gets us to dig deep. And if we dig deep and ask ourselves the questions or someone else does, it changes our focus.
Yeah.
Okay. The old saying is, look, you can't be drunk and hungover at the same time. Okay. You're either one or the other. Okay. You can't be worried about, I don't know, an injection going into your arm while you're playing, I don't know, Angry Birds on your phone. It's changing your focus. You can't remove something. You have to change your perspective or change your focus on something else. Yeah. So I'd ask them 4 powerful questions. Okay. So the first thing I'd ask them is, how are you feeling right now? So bring them present. So overwhelm, anxiety, fear, chaos, whatever it may be, that is your brain living in the future.
Yeah.
So I'd ask them, bring them back to present right now, and I'd say, how are you actually feeling right now? And they might say, like, I'm feeling a bit panicked, a bit hot, a bit flustered, a bit short of breath, a bit sweaty, I'm hyperventilating. Okay, cool. 2, what does that mean? Okay, ask that person what that means. So if they can tell you what that exactly means, it just means I'm not feeling great, I'm feeling uncertainty, I'm very worried, this, that, the other. It's okay, cool. So we're identifying the feeling. You aren't anxiety, you aren't depression, you aren't overwhelmed. You're just feeling a little flustered, and it means that you haven't planned. You haven't drunk enough water, you haven't done this, you haven't done that. So the third question I'd ask is, how do you actually want to feel right now? And obviously the answer is going to be, I want to feel more calm. Okay, cool. So we brought you back present. Then the fourth and most powerful question is what are you actually willing to do right now to bring yourself one step closer to being calm? Because without action, it's not going to change.
That's great, mate. I love that. I love that. So what, I mean, from this, I mean, the pearls of wisdom we've got from this, to be fair, is bloody loads. As a guy I listen to, Tim Ferriss, always says is an embarrassment of riches, and I'd say that the amount of content that you've given into this so far has been enormous. What's it like? I mean, like I say, you're a very motivated, very self-driven, dare I say, entrepreneurial kind of guy, and you're in a household. You live with your friends, who, you know, I mean, are all hardworking, successful in their own right, but they're not of that mindset, are they? I mean, they're not as spiritual as you are. Are you rubbing off on them because you're around so much? Is there anything going now? I mean, is it more a case of you kind of let each other? What's the dynamic of the house like at the moment?
To be fair, there's just 2 of us here. The other guy had to move home for the time being, but no, it's been fine. Honestly, like, it's one of those things, isn't it? Like, you're a product of your environment,
yeah,
and your energy goes to and from. So, luckily for my housemate, he's on 100% pay. He's working from home. He's had to adapt to a new environment. He's used to a certain routine, and that's kind of put him out of joint a little bit. But no, I mean, like, I'm quite a content person anyway. So I'm quite of a bit. I can be on my own quite happily and keep myself entertained. But no, it's been absolutely fine. Like, I've got no complaints there. It's kind of like the dynamics has been absolutely fine. We've got our own workspaces. I've just always been a bit different, to be honest, mate. I've always been a bit of an oddball.
Would you say that there's an element of communication there that's helped?
Of course, yeah, definitely. Just like if I was just on my own, I think I'd go stir crazy. I'd get cabin fever.
But for people that are in a similar situation, that live with, not with family, but they live with friends that could quite easily, that aren't in your kind of mindset, that could turn on each other. What advice would you give those people?
Well, if you got to a point where you was in a place where you're all starting to grate on each other and everything else, so you can do one of 3 things. You can do nothing. You can ask for help from one person, or you can formulate your own battle plan and stay just true to your own course. Yeah. But it all comes down to what your conditioning is. I think I've got quite a high conditioned mindset that I rarely allow other people to kind of take my energy from me and pass it on to me. But if I was living in a household, I mean, I'd probably have a family meeting. I'd sit down, let's all have a family meeting, and actually identify this is a crap situation. Identify that you have been, very aggy, you have been quite negative, you have been that, because you can't remove these things, but you can change the script, you can add something in. There's going to be no like sadness without happiness. There's going to be no anger without calm. There's always an opposite to everything. So I'd probably have that conversation with them and say, look, guys, I want to get through this as much as you do, so that when we do spend time together, let's try and fill that up with doing stuff. Like have a drinking game, play computer games, chat about, I don't know, like the last World Cup or whatever it may be. So you have got that downtime with people, and also get active. If you're all sitting at home right now and you're not working out, you're not going for walks, you're not getting sunlight, you're not moving, you're not creating energy, you're not eating an 80% acceptable diet, you're not hydrating yourself as well, then no wonder you're going to feel like a bag of shit. And if you feel like a bag of shit, so are your friends. It's going to pass on to the person onto the next. So it's kind of like get busy together so that you're doing stuff. And once again, as I said, it's like if you don't fill your day up with things that are going to empower you, something else is going to fill that void and disempower you.
Mm-hmm. I love that, mate. To be honest, I'm going to ask you for a closing statement in a minute, but I think probably going back to that as well, I think, like you say, the family meeting, the communication has to be key in this point. Massively agree. Just from a family standpoint in here, the only way that me and my wife are getting through this is with communication. The moment something starts to grate, which is working out fantastically. And I don't think the dynamics really changed, whether it's your family, whether you're living with friends, associates, even some people are living with work colleagues because they're key workers and stuff. I think it all has to come down to communication. I think you hit the nail on the head with that. So your closing statement, Russ, I'm going to ask you it, and then I'm going to waffle on because I'm going to give you time to think about the answer, because it's a bit of a sort of a question, but I think you'll be fine with it. What have you learned about yourself during this time so far that you didn't already know? And what advice would you have for everybody else that is in your similar position? So imagine you're giving yourself the advice, okay? I'll let you think about that. I'll quickly just say a few more things whilst I let your brain tick. But for me, recently, I found that just speaking to my children a lot more and being outside with my family a lot more, out in the open, not in the house, was bringing us all closer together, giving us a lot more kind of happiness, and also spending time individually with my children was changing everything. So I was getting up early with Madeline, going on bike rides. She can pretty much ride a bike. Well, she can, not pretty much, she can turn a bike without stabilizers now. She's 5 years old and she's hammering around everywhere and doing little things with Rosie, talking to Rosie and looking, face to face with her and just watching her think and stuff when it's just me and her. And being outdoors with them is helping me learn loads more about the way that they are and their personalities. So anyone that's got kids, try and have a little bit of alone time, one-to-one with each kid, with each little and just talk, have fun. And I forgot how much I like playing it. I'll tell you what, if it's an open space, they've got no hope. I'm going after them and I'm nailed, done, and I'm never it. Right, but in a small garden filled with toys that I trip over and fall over, which they can get under, I've got no hope. I've been it. I think I was it for about 10 minutes. I've got a 2-year-old and 5-year-old. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. So Russ, imagine you're giving yourself so what have you learned about yourself you didn't know before, and what advice would you give someone just like you?
Yeah. Just quickly, have you seen that film which is about them adults who played it for their whole life?
Yeah.
And it's actually based on a true story.
Yeah.
They've like shown up to each other's weddings and holidays and like literally, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. They can never get that guy. They can never get that one guy.
Okay, so what I've learned about myself is that up until recently, I was a huge busy fool. Okay, I was a busy fool. So what I thought was being productive was just being busy. There's a massive difference between that. not wasted a lot of time, but spent a lot of time procrastinating as well.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely can't believe how much work I've got done in the last 4 weeks by just being laser focused. And it is because of that scarcity. And, you know, not to sound negative, but look, when we've got a change to do something where it's going to be at the worst moment of our life is here. And if you're here, there's a timeline. And somewhere along that timeline, you've got to change. And it's a bit like the person that weighs 300 pounds, okay? 300 pounds is this is where the doctor's saying to them, if you don't start exercising, you're going to die. And they go along that time, and some people reach there. And it was exactly the same with my business, okay? With my business, with my mindset, it was like going along, oh, I might do something, and then boom, this safety net's been taken away. It's actually been a positive though, because it's made me realise how busy I've been in the past, not productive, how much I've procrastinated and just waited for things. But then on the positive side and the flip side of that, I've realised like how resilient I am to things, how focused I can be, how quick I can learn and implement things. And also it's really, really, really inspired me to go back to my roots of helping people more. You know, I got so much into the business aspect of things. I forgot about my passion, and my passion is helping busy professional men, you know, balance out their health, wealth, and relationships. And I've now got a new desire, a new burning passion for this. I'm absolutely buzzing. I really am. Like, even if I was earning £1 million a month, I'd still carry on doing it. Yeah. It's something that I'm truly, truly enjoying. It's because of learning these skills and these tactics and these rituals and everything else has made me feel how I feel. I just want to pass that on. I want everyone to feel like I feel every day and be able to bring themselves back up every day, just like that with training, with practice, you know, with morning rituals. Yeah, it's definitely changed my perspective a lot of things.
That's amazing, man. I love that. I absolutely love that. You seem to be in a very positive state, mate. You seem to be in a great place. And, you know, if you do fit the category or you do resonate with anything that Russ has said, we're going to close off now, but you can get his information from the show notes. So if you look either below this video or podcast, depending on what platform you are looking at, you will see the links on how to get in contact with Russ. So if you are a busy professional, if you're a busy professional guy and you do feel like you need to just get in touch, please do. And Russ is normally in contact within about 48 hours and he can talk to you directly. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Again, if this has resonated with you and you do feel like this has helped you in any shape, way, or form, please press that share button because that's how we get our voice out there. As well, please do put a comment in the comments bar if you are watching this on YouTube. One other thing, guys, if you do want to get in contact with myself, if you feel like you'd like to have a chat with me, my mission at the moment is to help 100 people or to listen to 100 people's stories during lockdown. Okay, and with that, if 100 people can give me one idea to help others, that's 100 ideas that could potentially help save someone. So, guys, thank you so much for listening or watching, and I hope to speak to you soon. And I'll see you later.
It's been a pleasure.